everyone, welcome back to Sunset Valley. So today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. So for those of you who don't know, this house is called Americana and it's smack dab in the middle of Sunset Valley. Now unfortunately it's got one of those relentless EA roofs. So I spent the first part of the build trying to fix it all up and everything, but at the end of the day this house is actually pretty good. I didn't hate it altogether. It's got a great idea, great concept, a decent style. I really like the yellow color, I like the roof texture, I like the whole idea of it. It's just there's a few things that I would like to change. And it kind of reminds me of like when you put on makeup, right? Because it's like, I don't want to change what I look like completely. I just want to fix up the questionable bits, if you know what I mean. So that's what I thought I would do today. So I just came on screen here. I've got a fresh face. I did my hair a little bit, but today I've got like a pimple and I feel like extra wrinkly and old. So I thought I would just kind of like put on my makeup as we do this speed build. Because this is one of the unoccupied houses. So there's not a whole lot of lore to talk about. It's really just style. And I kept most of the style the same, like I said. You'll notice in some of the builds, I do try to keep a lot of what they use, especially if I like it. So if I like the outside color, I'll keep it. If I like the floor inside, I'll keep it. But I do change a few things too. Like you can see, I'm kind of changing the porch. I liked the idea of the front porch, but I didn't want it all the way around the house. But yeah, so when I start to get ready, I usually just start off by putting on a little bit of foundations. This is the Fenty Beauty foundation. I'm using shade number 120, which is actually one shade a little too pale for me, but we'll get to that in a little bit. I usually just kind of put a few dots on my face and then I just kind of scrape off the rest so I don't waste any. And then once it's all together, I just start blending in it with this brush thing. I don't know anything about makeup. I'm just showing you what I do. Because YouTube is all like smoke and mirrors. Like you have people who are 20 pretending to be 40. You have people who are 40 pretending to be 15. So I'm just showing you the reality. I'm like a middle-aged man who plays The Sims, so here we are. But yeah, there's not much else to say about the technique, so I'll just keep talking about the house. I'm just gonna put on a little bit more foundation, especially where that pimple is. So I decided to add like a garage and everything because I really wanted to make a detached garage for once. I've been doing a lot of attached garages since I did my build tutorial. And in Sunset Valley, a lot of the houses are not really planned to have a garage, and if they do have a garage, it's a little bit of a half-assed EA one. You know, without a door, just kind of sticking off to the sides. See, like they wanted to do attached garages, but they didn't want to get into constrained floor elevation, so I understand that. I should also note that I'm using a full coverage foundation, and that's really the only way that it's going to work for me. Now that I'm getting older, I have quite more textury skin than I would like, so I find a full coverage foundation just kind of edges everything out and kind of flattens it a bit. But then you look a little bit ghostly, and our next step is actually not going to help. So as we move into the inside of the house, I'm just going to add a little bit of concealer in like my worst spots. I actually put a little bit under my eye, I put a little bit on my pimple, and then I just kind of like scrape down the front, just like tapping it. I don't know why, but it just seems to highlight the front and it kind of makes me look a little bit younger. Now I know it looks like war paint right now, so I'm just gonna blend it. Like I said, I just use the same brush for everything. I don't use all sorts of different brushes. I'm also not going for any like specific look, right? Like I'm not trying to like contour out things that don't exist. I'm just trying to make myself look a little bit better. But at the end of the day, youth is what society wants, right? So I may as well give it to them. Oh my God, I can barely see what I'm doing, but I can already tell I haven't blended this that good, but that's okay. You can already kind of see that I'm a little bit more ghostly white than usual, and like little corners of my head where I haven't really gotten it, it's a lot more blotchy and red. So yeah, as we move on to the inside of the house, you can see I'm starting to put lights all around because sometimes it's good to figure out what you want to do before you actually do it. And when I'm doing these build renovations, especially with these houses that don't have pre-made sims, because I always play pre-made sims, right? So for this, like an unoccupied house, like I don't really, like I'm not super familiar with it. So by going through and just adding lights throughout the build, I can kind of get a feel as to what I like and what I don't like. And I actually liked a lot of this house. You can see me, I'm mostly just trying to steal colors from one place and put them in another because I liked what it looked like as a whole. I just wanted to change little details. But yeah, now we're moving on to bronzer. So, oh, I didn't mention, so the concealer that I use is Fenty Beauty as well, but the bronzer is this Hoola Benefit. I don't know anything about makeup or makeup brands, so you may like these or you may not, or you may be like me and not even know what they are. But what I like about this is that since my foundation is kind of like one shade too light, this will kind of darken me down to my normal skin tone. So it's like a bronzer, so I'm usually kind of red and splotchy, so instead this gives me a little bit more of a healthy tone. But yeah, the way I do this is I literally put bronzer all over my face. I just kind of blend it into the foundation and even into the concealer just to kind of give myself an even tone. And then once I'm done doing that, I kind of do what you're supposed to do with bronzer, which is try and do like a little bit of highlight. So I'll like suck in my cheeks, do a little bit of tapping inside the jaw there, and especially like for men to wear makeup is a little bit different. So if you want to give yourself a bit of a sharper jawline, this is a great trick because I have a weak chin, right? So I just kind of put on a little bit extra bronzer and I kind of do my neck because I don't really have facial hair or anything either. Just gives a little extra shadow and makes that line a little bit more sharp. It's almost like putting on fake stubble. It's a little bit of a drag king technique, I guess. But yeah, and that's about all it takes to complete my look. As you can see, I'm looking a few years younger and a little bit more fresh, and I'm still just as tired and ugly as I was before. Okay, so the last thing I want to do, just like I do with terrain paint on the builds, I have to do it with the makeup. And it's just a little bit of setting powder, and I just use this like CoverGirl stuff from the drugstore, but it's already kind of spilled all in the top of it, so I have to be very careful not to get this all over my desk. I usually put it into the lid to thin it out a little bit, but it doesn't really matter. It's gonna get everywhere anyway. So as I figure out the creative style swatches, I'm just gonna try and do this without making a mess of my office. There we go, a little bit of setting powder, and especially if you put on a little bit too much bronzer and you think it's a little bit too tanned, the way I've always experienced makeup is that I just have to kind of put it on, I get a shade lighter, put on something else, I get a shade darker, and then at the end it kind of Goldilocks out to being just right. And now that I'm pretty much done with my face, I notice that I'm on the bedrooms and the attached bathroom of the build, and this is some of the last stuff I do, so I may as well talk about it a little bit. I figure we do build tours anyway for the speed build, so I don't have to talk about the speed build throughout the whole thing, but you know how much I love bathrooms. So here we have like my tub up on the platform here. I got the little half wall sectioning it off, you know, very classic to my style. I do a separate toilet room and everything because like the way I was going with this house is that it gives real mansion vibes, but when you get inside, it's not a mansion. It's like a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom regular house, right? In The Sims 3, your houses have to be a little bit bigger. But yeah, this bathroom didn't turn out as good as some of the other bathrooms and some of the other mansions because again, we just had a little bit more space. This bathroom was probably not quite big enough to add a platform bath because I like using the tub shower combo, but the problem is like when you do that is that you have to kind of put the tub in a specific place. So if you want like a centralized pedestal tub in the middle, like you can't really use that kind of shower. So I usually like to stick a shower off to the side. And yeah, looking at this bedroom furniture, I found this like one shade of wood in one of the items in this house and I thought it was beautiful. So I just applied it to a bunch of other furniture, which is weird because I normally like more paler woods. Like I like using gray and white wood too, but if I do use a brown, it has to be like very light beige. So to use something a little bit more dark or something a little bit more saturated in a brown is a little bit better. If I want a dark color, I tend to go towards dark grays and black. I'm not really sure why. And this last bedroom here, so it's got like 2 single beds in it. Actually, I think I switched the bedrooms because the master bedroom was not going to be with the ensuite and that kind of bothered me. I don't remember. I changed the floor plan up a few times, but I guess we're going to be reminded of it because we're just about ready to get into the build. So why don't I jump into first person and I guess we'll see you there. Let's go. And welcome to my rendition of Americana. I know it looks pretty much the same, but it was actually kind of an interesting house to begin with. Like I said before, it's a little bit big and bold, but at the same time, I think they put a lot of effort into it, so I did enjoy keeping a lot of the details. As we can see, I cut off some of the porch, but it's still pretty big. I added a few outside lights. I guess we can see what it looks like at night. Actually, I like it at night because the yellow was a little bit less relentless. Coming over to the backyard, I just kind of cleaned it up a little bit. I didn't add too much out here, and you might notice that I put a dog house here, and I don't know how much I talked about it in the speed build, but I wanted to add a few things for pets. For the most part, this expansion pack is base game, and if I do want to add things that are from DLC, then I tend to use things that won't matter if you don't have the DLC. So for this, instead of putting stuff for people, I put like dog houses, cat scratchers, food bowls, those kind of a thing. So if you don't have the pets pack installed, this house will still load pretty good as base game. It just won't have the things for the animals. Oh no, I just noticed, look at this little mistake here. I didn't change some of these windows, so some of these are still EAs. I gotta fix that. Oh God, how embarrassing. But to be fair, I added the garage there, I guess, for a reason. Okay, let's just jump inside. I haven't done first person for this one yet, so let's just walk through the front door. Okay, as we enter in the hallway, I just noticed here that I've got this World Adventure statue, but again, it's just a decoration. I was just getting bored with base game stuff, what can I say? But as you enter the entry hall, I just like to have a little bit of like a decorative area. I've been playing a lot of The Sims 1 lately, and like you kind of need good decorations in order to survive. And before we go into the living room, let's just go into the bathroom here quick. I might have tweaked it a bit though. You'll see a litter box in the bathroom. You can replace it with a tree if you want. I've got a bathtub. There's only one shower in this house. Now I'm starting to see why EA doesn't use too many showers, but in fact, it's because they didn't put any nice ones in. They've got 2 base game ones that are all right, but like at the end of the day, sometimes you want to switch it up too. And create a style can't change glass. Okay, let's just go into the living room here if it loads properly. There we go. So we got the dog bed, we got the lamp, we got like the Simsy style living room. It's facing the fireplace. I didn't put a TV. This is like a really old fashioned house, so I thought maybe like an old couple could live in here with their animals. Or maybe they died and your Sims bought it, right? Okay, let's just get out of here. Now, as much as I'd like to go upstairs right away, we have to scoot around to the dining room and kitchen first. Behind the stairs is a little hallway. Again, I have my little end table with plants. I guess my little signature. I kept the dining room kind of basic and contemporary, like nothing super formal here. It looks like a big house, but this really isn't a big house. Like I kept calling it a mansion, but it's really just a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and nothing super big. Well, I mean, the kitchen is a little bit big, so let's just go in here. It's got that octagonal bay window thing, so I couldn't really put counters all the way around, and in fact, they didn't either. I just kind of copied their layout. I just cleaned it up a little bit. So we have like the fridge over here, food processor, we got a few counters, dishwasher, another pet bowl, garbage can, and I put the trash compactor too. And I don't know why, but I put the Edwardian microwave. Again, I just like to use like little DLC things that don't really matter. But like I've said before, most of you have most of the stuff anyway, and like I don't even have all the store stuff. In fact, I don't even have all the stuff packs. There's 4 stuff packs I'm missing. Anyway, here we are upstairs. Let's see, should we go behind door number 1 or door number 2? I don't know. Let's just go in this one. Oh good, it's the kids' bedroom. I forgot which one was which. Okay, so going inside here, I just put like a nice little spare bedroom, maybe for kids, maybe for 2 single adults who couldn't really move out. I don't really know. I just kept it kind of basic. And since there was no TV, I figured that this was the best room to put the computer. And it was hard for me to decide which should be the master bedroom, because this bedroom in fact has a really nice porch and balcony over here. It's really big and stuff too, so I thought maybe this is better for the kids because it is really fenced in. You could put some toys out there, maybe not toddlers, right? Okay, let's just go into the master bedroom. So as you can see, I put a few more decorative things here. I used a nice like vanity, I used a nice dresser. I kept it very feminine and stuff. I figure like when old couples get like really elderly, the lady probably survives longer, right? Especially if she's a Sims witch. Okay, let's just go into the master bath. In here, I have my separate toilet room. Let's just peek in here quickly. I just like to hide the toilet away sometimes. I could not fit the toilet roll. I don't know where it went. I was trying to figure it out earlier. Oh well, okay, let's just go over here. So I snuck in the shower here because again, I wanted to do the pedestal bath and I wanted it up on the platform. So since you put it up on the platform, I figure it may as well be centralized. And if it's centralized, you should have a separate shower. So here's that. And then I just had space for a nice little single sink here. Again, I started building this bathroom like it was a mansion, but this house is not big enough to be a mansion. Half of it's just roof. I couldn't even put another end table on the other nightstand, but again, maybe it's the old lady and the husband's passed away, or we got a Goodbye coffee situation or something, right? But yeah, coming back outside, this was one of the first houses that was an absolute joy to renovate. I usually have fun when I renovate, but it's sometimes a little bit stressful too, because I don't really know which direction to take the house or like what I want to do or how to fix certain problems. And for this house, it was really just the roof. And you know how I am with roofs. I like doing them. So once I did the roof, I realized the yellow was good, the accent colors were good. So I just kind of switched up the inside, added a garage, and just made the whole thing look a little bit nicer. But let me know what you think. Do you like this house? Have you played in it before? Because this is kind of like the house that I would pick as a younger version of me moving into a big mansion, because it's a manageable size. It looks really grand. It's really centrally located too. Like this is like right on the corner. It's really near the school and the city hall, but location isn't everything, right? Because then again, this thing is in Sunset Valley. And I know it's a brass bold style, so I know it's not for everyone, but I decided to keep it. But yeah, that's about it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give this video a like and don't forget to subscribe for some more Sims content and more Sunset Valley content. My goodness, we're almost done. I say almost for a couple reasons. Like we still have like several houses to do, but I did kind of peek into some of the community lots and I fixed them up. I know we were going to do it on stream, but like some of the community lots were just rabbit holes with 2 trees, so it wasn't really like enough for content. But if you do like community lots, there are a few community lots that are actual builds, so we will have to pop into those and fix them up. Or if they're really bad, I might just rebuild it, who knows. But yeah, I accidentally switched everything to summer and now Destiny's getting pretty hot, so I guess we'll see you in the next one. Boom.